There's one important detail in this mansion scene of Red Cloak that I've always noticed, and today we're going to talk all about it. Hey, hello, and welcome to my channel. As you can see from the title today, we're talking about Eyes Wide Shut, and in particular, we're going again to that mansion party of Red Cloak and his cult. And we're going to take a look at a detail I noticed that I haven't heard anyone else talk about, and that is this circle that you can see the cult form here and in several other scenes. I'm calling this the magic circle. It is no accident that this cult is forming an almost perfect circle here, but what does it mean? And what's behind it? We're going to answer that question today. First, very briefly, of course, our story follows Dr. Bill Hartford as he goes out to a fancy party with his wife Alice. After meeting up with old friend Nick Nightingale, Bill ends up going to a strange late night party at a mansion outside of New York City, and it ends up being totally different from what he had expected. Now, shortly after Dr. Bill enters the mysterious mansion, he enters an ornate looking room where our character, Red Cloak, is performing a ritual with his group. As we see him ushered into the inner room, we now get our very first glimpse of one of these magic circles, as I'm calling them, because there are several of them in this mansion. This first one involves Red Cloak surrounded by a circle of what appear to be 11 robed young women wearing masks, if I'm counting correctly in this shot, though one of them is slightly obscured. I guess Red Cloak makes number 12. Of course, the number 12 has some meaning in esoteric or occult groups, since it can be 12 zodiac signs or 12 months, but it also stands for the 12th card of the tarot, the Hanged Man. Very briefly, the Hanged Man is a tarot card that can indicate sacrifice, divination, and prophecy. Of course, it shows a man suspended upside down by one ankle. In some interpretations, he is suspended there to gain knowledge. So it can mean you must make sacrifices to gain new knowledge. An interesting card to relate to this mansion cult that seems to impart knowledge to its initiates through rituals that have some element of sacrifice in them. The ritual continues, though we aren't quite sure why they're doing this. We also see that friend of Bill's, Nick Nightingale, is here, playing organ, blindfolded. It's odd, but for now, only the robed women, who may be initiates in this cult, are in the circle. As the masked cult members look on, the women eventually disrobe and leave the room. But Dr. Bill has been noticed. Dr. Bill then explores the mansion with the beautiful feather masked woman. Walking through the mansion, he sees many naked people almost having an orgy. Eventually, a masked security man approaches Dr. Bill and tells him his taxi driver is at the door. But instead, Bill is led into the room where Red Cloak, now seated on his throne with his attendants, is waiting. The music is ominous. But look, now the entire cult has basically formed a circle around Red Cloak with only a small path to let Dr. Bill enter in. And you can see in this clip, the group actually closed the circle around Dr. Bill. In my opinion, Dr. Bill has now entered the magic circle himself. Here he is entering in. And right here, he's now inside the magic circle, where rituals are performed. I believe from this point on, Dr. Bill is actually part of a ritual, although he may not know it. It's a bit of a setup. And interestingly, Red Cloak immediately asks Dr. Bill for the password. as if he's being asked to say the right magic incantation for the ritual to start. Of course, Bill gets the answer wrong and then just says he forgot. He's been found out. After removing his mask, Dr. Bill is then asked to take his clothes off. Things are becoming a bit threatening. Just then, our feather masked woman intervenes to help Dr. Bill. We see our whole group now looking up, but again, notice our cult is forming a perfect circle around Dr. Bill, as well as Red Cloak and his attendants. Now, the feather masked woman will offer herself as a sort of sacrifice to save Dr. Bill, walking off with our plague mask guy. But I think this is all performative theater. It's part of the cult ritual. But even so, Dr. Bill has basically just taken part in some type of high magic ritual, literally inside an occult magic circle. And immediately after this, Red Cloak gives Dr. Bill a serious warning, and basically he makes Dr. Bill swear a promise to him and the cult. So, was Dr. Bill just initiated into this cult? I thought we should actually take a look at the concept of a magic circle and what it is. A magic circle is basically any space marked by a circle that is used for ritual magic. The circle might be thought to contain magical energy or make a space sacred within those boundaries. The concept can be traced back many thousands of years to Bronze Age Mesopotamia. Also interesting is the fact a magic circle can have a quote unquote door cut into it so that someone may pass through, but it must be closed immediately after by reconnecting the lines and closing the circle, as we see happen exactly when Dr. Bill enters the magic circle. So, a magic circle is an intentionally created space for the purpose of ritual magic, creating sacred space, and raising energy. So, to start our sum up, since this is such a carefully made film, it can't just be a careless detail that people are seen standing and kneeling in circle patterns during what appear to be occultic high magic rituals. I felt there must be some meaning behind this circle pattern, and indeed, that led me to the concept of the magic circle, often used in ritual magic, to raise the energy and to form a sacred space. I feel that is exactly what Red Cloak and his group are doing, and in fact, going beyond the theatricality, I think actual magic did happen in this circle. But that's the subject of another video, since I have to do a bit more research there. And secondly, was Dr. Bill actually initiated into this cult when he entered the magic circle and basically took part in a ritual that involved a human sacrifice? Even though I think the sacrifice involving the feather masked woman was just theater, I have to say yes. I think Bill was, in a way, made an initiate that night at the cult mansion party, though it was unwittingly. Seems like he was sort of duped into going to the party by Nick Nightingale and was sort of set up to walk around the mansion, take in all the bizarre sights, and then, boom, he gets found out and is escorted to meet Red Cloak, who, of course, is already seated on a golden throne in a position of power within our magic circle. Well, that's my new video about the magic circle of Eyes Wide Shut. Hope you liked it. I'm working on another special video for next week, and I hope to have that up soon. And thank you so much for all the great comments you've been leaving for me under my videos. I always enjoy reading them. Also, it would help my channel if you hit that subscribe button. But either way, my name is Shim. Thank you for spending time with me, and have a great day.
Take me! I am ready to redeem him.